Hello again. This is Art Johnson of New World Communication, and welcome to week 32 of Taking Climate Action as we're building the Climate Action Consortium worldwide. We've been really making some great progress. One of the things that we did, besides developing our robust suite of e-learning services, is that we have a virtual business presence as a virtual enterprise on Virbela, an amazing Metaverse. We have a 12-office Virbela Team Suite that we've been staffing with really talented people from all across the planet. And we'll be doing some amazing presentations to some key corporate clients with huge enterprise-wide issues and opportunities that we can help them with. We've been doing this with our CEO, Dave, of ABC Corp, coming to us with his whole plate of challenges that we've been dealing with one by one. And one of those challenges is actually considering having a virtual presence on Virbela, maybe even licensing a whole campus to do some amazing events, including time-saving and earth-saving virtual conferences and even trade shows that can be done on Virbela as well as in a hybrid world way for those of people not ready to quite yet to be their avatar selves, but it's coming. So anyway, I want to go ahead and take you right to our Office Team Suite and talk about the substance of what we're about and why we are absolutely convinced that it's going to do a world of good, not only all the way to the bank and beyond for those climate solution providers and service providers and nonprofits doing good work, but also really good for the planet, all the way good to the bank and beyond, because we're dealing in an abundant approach, and we've been developing an enlightened business development approach that taps into the law of good, the law of infinite supply, how to align with that and get known, like, trusted, tried, bought, and bought again, and referred. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and go right to my office and share with you where we're going. So here we go. So here we are in our Virbela Team Suite. And if I stand up here, you'll see where I am. And I'll just kind of walk over here. And these are what they call web boards here. And I have a pointer that's really nice that can allow me to point right up to that screen and do some presentations here too. I'm going to go ahead and talk about addressing our climate change challenges, our climate action opportunities, which, by the way, is our mantra. You're going to hear me say this a lot. And this is week 32 of me saying this, but I really want to explain, page by page about what this is about and what's in it for you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Here's my pointer. It's a transformational movement of humanity that gets us there in a timely way. Time is of critical importance to us. As the climate clock keeps ticking down and, the ice sheets are melting both in the South and North Poles, and we are seeing all this cataclysmic stuff. And I did this right after the February 28th, 2022 6 Climate Assessment Report. That's the International Panel of Climate Change 6 Assessment Report. And so since that time, it's the climate change challenge has even become even more challenging. Global warming is accelerating even more rapidly. Governments have not been responding fast enough to draw down carbon, but there's more to it because there are these non-state actors. That's really us that they talk about. Climate change's effects are outpacing our ability to adapt, at least by just the government approach. And the UN report says an atlas of human suffering and a damning indictment for failing climate leadership, says Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General. In 2019, this is 4 years ago now. In 2019, 13 million people have already been displaced and had their lives disrupted or even ended. Climate change is really a challenge issue for several reasons. For most people, it's not just as pressing, however, as more immediate issues having to do with their well-being and survival, and COVID and economic crisis and even homelessness for some people. And I think there's this whole what they call climate anxiety has to do with not having the right mindsets or the tools or the knowledge to deal with this very effectively. And that's what we're called to provide. So that's what we're doing here. Until it suddenly hits home, climate change denial and massive fires, floods, choking air, heat dome, and deaths. Texas snowstorms that amazingly brought down the grid, drought, war, social unrest, cancer, and has been wiping out whole groups of people. So it's pretty hard to deny climate change as a reality, even though the fossil fuel industry did a good job of spending millions of dollars in climate denial just to give them time to figure out what they were going to do next. And Putin's invasion of Ukraine and its continual wasting of lives, property, resources, and possibly, really scary, the possibility of a World War III that would not be good. So anyway, but we're looking at enough of that stuff. We're all positive. We're talking about the climate action opportunity. And one of the first things that we're doing is getting known. You're getting to know me. And I'm doing this in a very kind, gentle way. I've made a commitment to do 52 weeks of weekly programming on YouTube on taking climate action and building the consortium. And then sending an email with that embedded in it so people know what I'm getting about. So there are now over 80 climate solutions that are known. It's more like 100 plus, and there's more that I don't even know about that have been evolving. And so the first thing that you want to do with anybody is get liked and authentically liked and say, I like this Art Johnson guy. He's a real deal. He's committed. He's, out of his own back pocket, he's doing this and getting, other people to give of their kindness and their skills and their knowledge to really solve the issue of climate change as climate action opportunity. And get trusted. So learn to trust what you like and to trust in some of these solutions promises. A lot of these solutions are kind of promises until you see how they are actually making a difference in the lives of people. But we're making progress, and I'm really, really, really enthusiastic about the changes that I'm seeing already. And so we also want to get tried. What we've been doing is, since 1997, has been developing a whole robust suite of e-learning services. We'll talk about that. And these are good ways to really get on point and to really move forward with whole groups of people and get that tried, and then also get it bought. We are actually funding ourselves by doing robust year-long mobilization campaign services. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And then grow more business, not only for ourselves, but for multiple stakeholders. A lot of people lost their jobs. Some people can become entrepreneurs and start some ventures or join other ventures or join nonprofits and give of themselves. So we're going to grow more business and we're going to refer more business, and hopefully we'll get referred to more businesses. And we're doing this in very, very diverse, equity creating and inclusive ways across generations. You can't just rely on the young people, just, shouting at us, but I'm doing it across generations, across genders, of people, across communities, across the planet, across whole market sectors, and filling jobs and creating new entrepreneurs to address our future. So this is really exciting for us. And the way we're doing it is through our learning services opportunity here. And this is on our website, by the way, and you can just check this out. But anyway, this is really what we're doing here. And let me just change here. So the first one that everybody needs, all organizations, no matter how small, you could be a solopreneur, or even thinking about just launching a business, or starting up a business, or if you are a government sector organization and you are charged with dealing with climate change, well, how are you going to do that? How are you going to gain focus? And that's what our virtual focus groups and strategic planning services are about. That's what we have our CEO Dave, our fictitious CEO Dave, come to us for. He says, I think you can help me. I got a ton of problems, and I need to get a handle on this to know what to do next. And that's what our focus group and strategic planning services are. And they're virtual, so we can do this across your entire enterprise. And we can actually do it simulcast, so we can have multiple locations weighing in, and we can do massive enterprise-wide, very timely social change by doing these virtual focus groups and strategic planning sessions, a series of them. And then we can then go to what that can do, and that's what's doing us. It's informing our YouTube programming and channel development, and it can, it can inform yours. Most organizations do not know or use YouTube programming or channel development because they just don't know how to do that. They might have one funky little video or something, or nonprofits, one little case statement video, but there's a whole craft of doing television, doing YouTube as television, because that's how it's actually set up. That's why they call it YouTube channels. And you can actually have multiple channels to do that. So our focus groups are informing our channel development, our programming, and we're doing it on a weekly basis. So you get to know us, like us, trust us, try us, buy us, and refer us. And then that's informing workshops and courses. This is just the beginning. We're teaching people how to use Zoom to grow business. That could also how to use Teams to grow business. If you're into Teams or, Blue Jeans or whatever your favorite flavor of internet conferencing is, web conferencing, and using YouTube to grow business, and even the campaign course. And we're going to be adding this to it in terms of using Virbela to grow business. That's really important. That's what we're about. That's actually what we're doing. And you see everything, we've got this hourglass here, which is, time is clicking here in terms of this. So this is also what we're also doing. And this is what our main product service offering. This is our mobilization campaign services that are a series of 8 quality assurable steps that start with getting enabled, doing business meetings, being social with each other, using YouTube, doing virtual business casuals in local restaurants and happy hours, and having a ball doing it, and doing it in a professional broadcast programmatic way. And out of that, doing some critical conversations for a 21st century world. And look at all the things that spin out of that world-class consulting practice. And not just us, but everybody that we meet as partners from across the planet. That's why we're in this suite here, because we can all meet from across the planet in this omnipresent office that's, present everywhere in the world that anyone has internet access, Wi-Fi, PC or Windows or a Mac PC. And this is going to, out of this will be new social ventures and even rethinking education itself. We're working with some amazing partners that are doing that, who will be members of our strategic partners in New World Learning. And then a primetime interactive reality television. I come out of broadcast public television, and I have filmmaker friends, and I'm getting to meet independent filmmakers. So that's going to be a world-class primetime viewing interactive reality episodic television series today on YouTube. I mean, on not only YouTube, but maybe on Netflix and some of the streaming services. So that's on our way. And we're totally confident that we will actually have a world-class program series. So that's really neat. And so this is kind of where we're going. And then we can arrive at world-class virtual conferences, trade shows, and job fairs. And, you know, we've really had a good head start right when COVID started hitting in 2021. One of our dearest client friends and colleagues, Bettina Carey, started doing these women empowerment summits for years. And then when COVID hit, she came to me and said, "Johnson, I need your help. I got to do this online." And I asked her, how many months do we have? She says, more like weeks. She says, we got to go. And I'm doing these all day long, 8:30 in the morning to 8:30 p.m. in the, and I've got a whole bunch of people who want to present. So every 90 days, I was supporting her doing these amazing things over Zoom in a third-party platform, which encouraged me to develop my third-party platform on my own website. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, so the idea is to do that. And I have, what I discovered is Virbela also has an amazing set of resources on its campuses and private campuses, a virtual auditorium, a virtual conference hall, a virtual expo hall, and just with booths that are rentable and amazing entertainment things. And just the environment is just really lush with possibility here. So anyway, we're going to just go over here and and then out of this will become Instructional Design Services. Our workshops and courses are the ones that we kind of develop, but we're actually senior instructional designers. I'm actually the chief learning officer for New World Communications, but we're interested in leveraging contract work to develop a whole series of instructional courseware. And ours is going to be different than any corporate software because ours is collaborative. We're actually co-creating content with learners. We are, we're front runners here in micro learning in every imaginable thing, including possibly the use of AI and all kinds of the latest, greatest things that work. And experimenting with this, we're embracing and leveraging a transformational social learning for all people. And so we're actually creating a hybrid world opportunity. I love this slide here because years ago, after working with first generation internet conferencing and discovering Google Earth and then SketchUp software, which could take 3D buildings, we commissioned a young Buenos Aires SketchUp architect to develop this platform Seattle concept. That's a virtual building on virtual Google Earth right off of in a virtual Elliott Bay outside of Seattle. And I said, one day, I'm going to actually have an actual platform that I can even meet inside and do all kinds of things that I'm imagining right now. And it took up until, several years, 14 years to discover Virbela. A friend of mine who'd been working with over the years said, "Johnson, I know you want to do this. Have you looked at Virbela?" And I said, "No." And then I found this image here. Look at this image this is an early image of Virbela. And look at the synchronicity here. Two buildings on the right-hand side, surrounded by a virtual sea and with these buildings on it. And when I saw that, it was like my second epiphany. And the first one was realizing that I was meeting inside of virtual architecture back in the day. And now I had virtual architecture I could do business inside of. So in 2021, I joined Virbela, and that's what I'm on right now. That's what I'm presenting inside of my virtual team suite. And so I'm introducing this to other people because most businesses and people don't know about this and the good it can do. Now, there are also companies that have major investment in physical world architecture. And but we can also bring other people in, seniors maybe, people in the hospital who can actually look at a screen that actually is showing a virtual simulcast conference. So we call this our physical world live streaming, and it's really neat. Back in the day when I was at Channel 9 Public Television in Seattle, the only way we could do anything like this was to have a very expensive remote uplink truck. It had a dish that would send signals up to a satellite, and we had to have a crew of holding, shooting with these 30-pound cameras that cost 30,000 plus. And so only the rich people, and even then, the quality had a lot of lag time because it took so much time to get back and forth from the satellite. And it's now faster even doing this over a cell phone. So we're going to be leveraging this a lot in terms of this. And the whole idea is to develop global strategic partnerships across the planet, across genders, across generations, across market sectors, across government, because government has these agencies, but there's a tendency when you specialize to also silo. So we have a lot of slowness and duplication of effort. If you want to then make major change, then you've got to have some way to bridge these silos. And that's what we're about. We're a bridging organization. And, the whole technology we're using is a bridging technology here. So this is the marvelous outcome of working together and flowing our good across the planet. So I invite you to come join us to flow timely good to all people across our entire planet. That's a big call, isn't it? So I want to thank you for this. I'm going to stop my share now. If you need to know more and communicate, let's communicate right now. If you need to get a hold of me and learn more and how you can join us be a member of our team suite as a strategic partner that conventionally, as we're funded, we could subcontract you. You can text or call me at 206-920-8067. You can email me at support@newworldcom.com. You can visit us at www.newworldcom.com and go to our and visit our resources and go to our Contact Us page to schedule a time that we can meet and do a complimentary Zoom call with you. We can even do this now right over LinkedIn now. This is really nice. I just noticed this, and really want to listen to you and gain focus and be spot on with what you're seeing and what you're needing, and support you in your efforts of dealing with climate change challenges as climate action opportunities, so we can do this together. Thank you so much.